When Christopher Nolan announced his next film would be an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey, the internet did what it does best. It lost its mind. And honestly, for good reason. Because here's what most people missed in that initial wave of hype. This isn't just Nolan making another movie. This is the convergence of everything he's been building toward for 25 years, meeting the story that invented half the narrative devices he's famous for. Think about that for a second. The director who built his entire career on fractured timelines, unreliable narrators, and the psychological weight of homecoming is adapting the 3,000-year-old poem that pioneered all of those things. This isn't a match, this is destiny. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. The Odyssey might not just be another Nolan masterpiece. It might be the one that redefines what he's capable of, the one we've been waiting for without even knowing it. So let's talk about why this film could be something we've never seen before. And before that, please hit like and subscribe and help us grow. Thank you. First, we need to understand when this is happening in Nolan's career, because timing is everything. Oppenheimer just became his biggest critical and commercial success. Nearly $975 million worldwide. 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. The man is operating at the absolute peak of his powers, with complete creative freedom and the full backing of Universal Pictures. But here's what's more important than the accolades. Oppenheimer proved Nolan could do something many of us wondered about. It proved he could make us feel as deeply as he makes us think. For years, Nolan's been labelled as cold, clinical, a brilliant architect of plot who struggles with emotional resonance. And sure, Interstellar had us crying about bookshelf love, but there was always this lingering question. Could he make a film where the emotional complexity matches the intellectual complexity? Oppenheimer answered that, definitively. That 3-hour meditation on guilt, ambition, and the weight of consequence, that wasn't just technically masterful, it was devastating, it was intimate, it was Nolan proving he could strip away the spectacle and lay a human soul bare on screen. And now, fresh off that triumph, he's choosing The Odyssey. Not a biopic, not an original sci-fi concept, not another mind-bending thriller, an ancient Greek epic about a man trying to get home. You see where this is going? Nolan's entering his most dangerous creative space, the space where he has nothing left to prove and everything to explore. He's not chasing validation anymore, he's chasing legacy. And The Odyssey? That's the ultimate legacy play. Let's talk about why this poem, this specific story, is almost suspiciously perfect for Christopher Nolan. The Odyssey is not a straightforward narrative. It never has been. Homer doesn't start at the beginning. The poem opens in medias res, in the middle of things, with Odysseus trapped on Calypso's island, 10 years into his journey home. We don't see the Trojan War. We don't see the early adventures. We start with a man stuck in time, haunted by memory, desperate to return to something that might not even exist anymore. Sound familiar? The entire structure of the Odyssey is built on analepsis, flashbacks. Odysseus tells his story to the Phaeacians in a massive retrospective chunk. Past and present interweave constantly. Time is fragmented, layered, deliberately scrambled to create meaning through juxtaposition. This is Memento. This is Dunkirk. This is literally the foundation of Nolan's entire narrative approach, but it goes deeper. The Odyssey is obsessed with identity and recognition. Who is Odysseus when he's stripped of his crew, his army, his reputation? When he returns home disguised as a beggar, does Penelope recognize him? Does he recognize himself? The poem asks, what defines us when everything external is taken away? This is the prestige. This is Bruce Wayne in the pit. This is Cobb questioning what's real and what's projection. And then there's the homecoming itself, the central driving obsession of the entire story. Odysseus doesn't want glory. He doesn't want more adventure. He wants to go home, to return to something pure and true that existed before the world broke him. This is Cooper reaching through dimensions to touch his daughter's hand. This is the soldiers on the beach at Dunkirk just trying to survive. This is Oppenheimer yearning for a version of himself before he became death. Nolan has been circling this theme his entire career, and now he's adapting the story that invented it. But here's the crucial thing. The Odyssey isn't just about structure and theme, it's about scale. This is gods and monsters. This is cyclopes and sirens and underworld journeys. This is the Mediterranean as a cosmic battlefield, and the human soul as the ultimate prize. Nolan spent 2 decades proving he can make the cerebral feel epic. Now he gets to make the epic feel intimate. That combination, that tightrope between myth and humanity, that's where masterpieces live. Now let's talk about the pantheon Nolan's assembled, because this cast isn't just impressive, it's purposeful. Matt Damon as Odysseus, and before you roll your eyes at another Nolan-Damon collaboration, think about what Damon brings to this role. He's played the stranded everyman in The Martian. He's played the morally compromised survivor in Interstellar. He has this innate ability to be both heroic and deeply flawed, to make arrogance feel human. Odysseus isn't a perfect hero. He's proud, reckless, unfaithful. He gets his entire crew killed through bad decisions. But he's also relentless, clever, and driven by a love so pure it sustains him through literal hell. That complexity, that's Damon's wheelhouse. Then there's Tom Holland as Telemachus, Odysseus' son. The young man who spent his entire life waiting for a father he's never really known, trying to become a man in the shadow of a legend. Holland's proven he can carry emotional weight beyond the superhero suit. He's got that raw vulnerability that Telemachus needs. The hunger to prove himself, the fear that he never will. Zendaya as Calypso, the goddess who keeps Odysseus trapped for 7 years, not out of cruelty, but out of love. She offers him immortality, eternal youth, paradise, and he refuses. That's the role, the one who has everything to offer and still isn't enough. Zendaya's got the presence to make divinity feel real and the acting chops to make rejection feel devastating. Anne Hathaway as Penelope, the wife who waits, who fends off suitors, who weaves and unweaves a shroud every day for years, holding on to hope that's bordering on delusion. Hathaway's proven in Interstellar and The Dark Knight Rises that she can play loyalty as both strength and wound. Penelope isn't just waiting, she's surviving. She's fighting her own Odyssey at home. Lupita Nyong'o as Athena, the goddess of wisdom who guides Odysseus, who believes in him when he doesn't believe in himself. Nyong'o brings gravitas and warmth, authority and compassion. She can make divine intervention feel like mentorship. And Charlize Theron as Circe, the sorceress who transforms men into pigs, who becomes Odysseus' lover for a year, who ultimately helps him on his journey. Theron can play danger and vulnerability in the same breath. She's perfect. This isn't stunt casting. Every single choice makes thematic sense. Nolan's casting actors who can make gods feel human and humans feel mythic. That's the entire game. Here's where it gets really interesting. Christopher Nolan is famous for his dedication to practical effects. He crashed a real plane into a hangar for Tenet. He detonated actual nuclear test footage for Oppenheimer. He flipped an entire semi-truck in downtown Chicago for The Dark Knight. The man doesn't do CGI if he can possibly avoid it. Now imagine him tackling the Odyssey. How do you practically create a Cyclops? How do you film the sirens without it looking like a sci-fi channel disaster? How do you show Scylla and Charybdis, the six-headed monster and the deadly whirlpool, in a way that feels real? This is where Nolan's constraints become his greatest strength. Because here's the thing about Homer's monsters. They were never about spectacle. They were about psychology. The Cyclops represents brute force without wisdom. The sirens represent temptation and the danger of nostalgia. Circe represents transformation and the seductive comfort of forgetting your purpose. Scylla and Charybdis represent impossible choices, sacrifice some to save the rest. These aren't just creatures, they're metaphors made flesh. And Nolan understands that better than almost any director working today. Look at how he handled the Tesseract in Interstellar. It could have been pure CGI nonsense. Instead, it's a practical set, a massive cube of light and shadow that McConaughey actually performed in. The effect is both technically stunning and emotionally legible. We understand it because we can see it's there. Or think about the rotating hallway fight in Inception. That wasn't wire work. They built a rotating corridor, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually fought in it. The practical reality makes the impossible feel possible. That's what Nolan will bring to the Odyssey. He'll find the physical manifestation of these metaphors. He'll build sets that feel ancient and real. He'll use miniatures, matte paintings, real ships on real water. He'll shoot on location in the Mediterranean. And when he does need to augment with digital effects, because let's be honest, you can't practically build a 100-foot Cyclops. It'll be grounded in something tangible, something you could almost reach out and touch. The result won't be a CGI spectacle. It'll be a world, a place that feels like it existed 3,000 years ago and still exists somewhere in the corners of our collective memory. That's how you make mythology feel real. That's how you make an epic feel intimate. But let's cut through all the technical brilliance and thematic alignment for a moment, because none of this matters if the movie doesn't make us feel something. And here's what I keep coming back to. The Odyssey is, at its core, about the unbearable weight of homecoming. It's about what it costs to return, what you lose on the journey, what you become in the process, and whether the place you're returning to can ever be the place you left. Odysseus's home isn't just threatened by suitors. It's been eroded by time. His son doesn't know him. His wife has aged. The world has moved on. And Odysseus himself, after 10 years of war and 10 years of wandering, is not the man who left. Can you go home when you've become someone else? Can home recognize you? Can you recognize it? This is the question Nolan's been asking since Memento. Leonard Shelby can't return to his life before his wife's murder. Bruce Wayne can't return to the innocence of his childhood. Cobb can't return to his children without first confronting what he's become. Cooper returns to his daughter, but she's older than him now. Time has made homecoming impossible, even as it's happening. Oppenheimer ends with the man who created the atomic bomb realizing he can never return to a pre-nuclear world. He's destroyed the very concept of home, for himself and for all of us. Nolan understands that homecoming is never simple. It's never clean. It's beautiful and broken at the same time. And the Odyssey is the definitive story of that exact complexity. The reunion between Odysseus and Penelope, it's not love at first sight. It's recognition earned through testing. Penelope doesn't believe it's really him until he describes their bed, the bed he carved from a living olive tree rooted in the ground. The bed that can't be moved. Home isn't a place, it's proof. It's the thing only you and the people you love could possibly know. That scene, in Nolan's hands, with Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway, that's not going to be a CGI spectacle. That's going to be two people in a room, and it's going to wreck us, because Nolan's learned how to balance the epic and the intimate. He's learned that the biggest moments are often the smallest. A hand reaching through a bookshelf, a flower falling into water, two people recognizing each other after being lost. That's what this movie is going to be. All the spectacle, all the mythology, all the practical effects and fractured timelines, in service of one man trying to get back to the people he loves, and wondering if he still deserves them. So why will the Odyssey be a masterpiece? Not because it's Nolan, not because of the cast, not because of the source material, but because it's the convergence of everything he's been building toward. For 25 years, Nolan's been refining his craft, learning how to make the cerebral feel epic, how to make structure feel emotional, how to ground the impossible in human truth. He's made films about memory, identity, time, guilt, sacrifice, and the desperate, beautiful futility of trying to go home. And now he's making the film about all of those things. The story that invented half the narrative techniques he's famous for. The story that asks whether homecoming is even possible when the journey changes you beyond recognition. The story that makes gods and monsters feel human, and humans feel mythic. This isn't Nolan playing it safe after Oppenheimer. This is Nolan swinging for the fences. This is him saying, I've proven I can make you think. I've proven I can make you feel. Now watch me make you believe in something 3,000 years old. And here's the thing about Homer's Odyssey. It's endured because it's true. Not historically true, mythically true, psychologically true. It speaks to something fundamental about what it means to be human, to struggle, to lose, and to keep reaching for home anyway. Nolan spent his entire career exploring those same truths through different lenses. Now he gets to explore them through the original lens, the one that started it all. And if he pulls it off, and I think he will, we're not just getting another great Nolan film. We're getting the film that redefines what an epic can be in the 21st century. The one that proves you can honour 3,000-year-old poetry and still make something that feels urgently, devastatingly now. The one that reminds us why we still need these stories, why we still need heroes struggling to find their way home, why we still need to believe that recognition is possible, that reunion is possible, that the journey, no matter how brutal, might actually be worth it. That's why the Odyssey will be a masterpiece, not because it's guaranteed, but because everything Nolan's ever made has been leading here. And I, for one, cannot wait to see where he takes us. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. See you at the theatre.